Welcome everybody to this week's Hymn of the Week, and it's 551 in ELW, The Spirit Sends Us Forth to Serve. The text is by Dolores Duffner, and you can see she is still, to our knowledge, living today. It was composed in 1993, and she really, let's give you a quote from her. It was a hymn to energize and empower the assembly to live the gospel during the week ahead. So the great thing about this is it certainly, I think, does do that with the selection of the music, which is the tune Chesterfield. If we look first, though, to the text, and then we'll look at the music. Text in verse 2, it reminds us as baptized Christians that we need to go to comfort those who mourn, set the burden free, the hopeless, so also the hopeless when hope is dim, and the blind. We help the blind to see. Of course, all of this through Christ working in us. So that's an important message to sing as we go. And it's also important to remember the following, that as we go, it's just beginning. It's not that we just come to the house of worship, to the sanctuary, to worship together, and then we're done. It actually is the beginning of the rest of the week where we continue to serve Jesus. So let's look at some of the music points here. First of all, we have this arpeggio. Kind of rise up, get going. And isn't that a great way to start a hymn? You'll see that. Generally when those appear, there's a purpose and reason behind it. Of course, the Spirit is sending us. So it's rise up, get going, serve Christ. Wonderful thing for each verse. And it has basically an action. The Spirit sends us forth. We go to comfort. We go to be. Then let us go. So that's a great way to match that. And then we have a sequence. Now, a sequence is when you have a pattern that starts on a different note. So this pattern is just 3 notes down. Then it starts on this note, then starts on this note. So 3 sequences in a row, and it, of course, encourages us to get going, but it also gives that effect of rising, the Spirit rising up within us, encouraging us to go. And now, one thing I will also do is on verse 4, modulate up a step. And I think the reason for that, well, why do organists do that? There's lots of different answers for that. But I think here it's to create that extra dose of spirit, of energy to encourage us. So it's like the extra exclamation point on everything. And that's generally why we do it. So if you look at the end of verse 3, to do the loving deed, then let us go to serve in peace. And I take the key up there to encourage us. Yes, we're going to go serve in peace and proclaim the gospel. So that's why generally that occurs. And on this hymn, I will do that as well. So here's the Spirit sends us forth to serve.